Right, so today we're going to be talking about Fantastic Four, Unthinkable. Roll the intro. Right, so before I get into this book, there's something that I need to address. I should have addressed it in yesterday's video, but I wanted to talk about the rearrangements first. But yeah, a few days ago, I wanted to address this. I know most of my videos have nothing to do with sport, but I just feel like it's important to talk about this. But Kobe Bryant died tragically, and it sucks because even though I don't really follow sport, I knew him outside of the sporting world. It's one of those names where even if you don't care for sport or basketball, you still know of the guy for the stuff that he's done outside of the sport. And just what shocked me most about it is the fact that it's a helicopter crash, and B, it's the fact that his daughter died as well in the same crash. And it truly does, it truly does show that, you've only got so much time left on this earth, so you've got to make the most of life while you've got it. Life's just too short, man. It's just too short. But the reason why I say that, and I opened this video with that, is because we're talking about Marvel's first family. I think this is the first time that I've actually spoken about the Fantastic Four in this series, or in depth on this channel. So I thought, why not open this video while I'm talking about Marvel's first family, by just addressing just how important your family is. So just, the important thing to take away from Kobe Bryant's death is just tell someone, especially family members, that you love them every time you leave a conversation with them, because you never know when that conversation is going to be the last one. So never leave a conversation or a moment on bad terms. That's kind of my big soppy doppy thing over. So Fantastic Four Unthinkable. This deals mainly, the main crux of this story is Reed Richards and Sue Storm's daughter Valeria, who was delivered and named by Doctor Doom. Don't ask me how that happened. It's not explained in this story. It's given to the opening page, which is the story so far page, and it's literally just they had to go to Doctor Doom because it was a really weird birth, because everything is weird with the Fantastic Four. What do you freaking do? But yeah, we have that. That's a thing that's important, because here the whole plot of this is Doctor Doom wants Valeria Richards. Doctor Doom wants her to be his successor because he feels that he has a right to this child because he helped deliver the child, which isn't the case. If every doctor in the country said, I have a right to your child because I helped deliver it, then there would be no children. But yeah, he instead of using technology, which he usually uses to try and defeat the Fantastic Four, this time he uses magic, and he realizes that no, my roots, my mum was cast out for being a witch. My roots are solely in magic. Like, technology is all well and good, and I can use that because I'm smart enough to use it, but my playground is magic. So he ends up, like, first thing he does is he realizes that that Reed Richards, the first thing he's going to do when he finds out that Doctor Doom is using magic is he's going to go to Doctor Strange. So he ends up imprisoning Doctor Strange in hell, essentially, so that he can do his stuff with the Fantastic Four and not get intercepted by Doctor Strange. The next thing he does is he then traps Franklin Richards in hell, who Franklin essentially is the son of Reed and Sue. He's also a Omega level mutant with the powers to essentially bend reality. How the fuck that came from a guy who can stretch and a woman that can turn invisible, I don't know. But yeah, that's Franklin Richards in a nutshell. So he gets, like, stuck in hell, and they're like, if you want to see him again, come to Latveria. And so they go to Latveria and stupidly take Valeria as well. Like, who the fuck takes their baby daughter to war? When is that ever a good idea? So they go to Latveria, they get defeated, imprisoned, and Reed Richards is stuck in this, like, room full of magical textbooks, and Doctor Doom is like, you have 3 days to learn magic and fight me using magic. And Reed spends, like, the best part of these 3 days just like struggling over the first page of this one book, until one of the books falls off the shelf magically, and inside is, like, the astral projection of Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange then, like, gives him this amulet and says all you have to do is insult yourself for this to work. So that eventually is how Doctor Doom is defeated. They're given this like ring of magic, and Reed Richards just basically says, I'm an idiot, I'm a fraud, I have no idea how to use magic, and you'll always be better than me, and all this stuff, and ends up defeating Doom that way. And at the end of this, like, climactic fight, Doom is sent into hell, and Franklin's taken back, and the last half of this book, or the last quarter of this book, is spent trying to deal with Franklin's PTSD after being trapped in hell for 3 days. Like, I love the fact that I love the fact that, like, the last entire quarter, like 2 issues are spent dealing with that, and not like big fights over, there's no repercussions. No, this kid is like 10 years old and he was stuck in hell for 3 days. Of course he's going to be mentally like snapped. So it ends with Ben Grimm trying to calm Franklin down. They take him to the fair and he goes mental at the fair because he sees everyone as a demon, and Ben is just like, you're going to see worse things than this, but what you need to do is take one day at a time. Just take one day at a time and do it like that. And so Franklin isn't fine at the end of this, but he also isn't mentally derailed to the point where he is actually going to be a danger to everyone else. And the very last words in this book is, the points that matter aren't when you can save the world, it's when you can save one life. And that's the most important thing about any superhero comic, because you always see like the big bombastic stories. The stories that I love most are the ones that are just on the ground, when you're taking this super powered being who is used to fighting people like Galactus, and then you take them and you have them face like a real world problem like PTSD, like depression. It's like that Deadpool issue, Don't Jump, where he goes up to that, he finds this girl that's about to off themselves, and he takes the whole issue like trying to get her to put her anger into other outlets, like fighting crime. And by the end of the issue, he's like, I'm smart enough to know that I'm dumb enough to not be able to help you, but they can, and he's pointing to a hospital. And that is the single best, that is for me the single best Deadpool issue ever written. And of course it's by Jerry Duggan. But this, I love everything in the last quarter, the last half even, but the first half, everything before Reed Richards being stuck in the magic room is a slog to read. It's very, the opening chapter of this, where it's all centered around Doom, and Doom is like walking around that area trying to find his first love, and then he ends up killing her. That is Doom, and it's setting up for a great story. And then the next issue is just, something will happen, and then one member of the Fantastic Four will react to it, and the others will just be standing around not doing anything, and you're just like, what the fuck are you doing? Just get involved. Like, anyone could have jumped in when Franklin was getting pulled in, but everyone just stood and watched. I don't know if it's like the writer, the artist just got lazy, or the writer, wanted the story to go on as long as possible. Like, you could still have had the same story and just be like, Doom tried to pull our son into hell, we need to go and stop him, and then the story unfolds like this. But then, like, just having everyone stand around whilst Franklin gets yanked into hell, that's a bit lazy on like my part, and it's not very entertaining to read when most of the panels are just people standing around. And there's literally a panel where Johnny Storm is like, like, why do you why is that a thing that's in a Fantastic Four book? The last half is very entertaining. The big action set piece in the middle of the book is great, but just some stuff going on around that is a bit meh. There's also a thing at the end where, like, where Reed and Johnny decide to go back in time, and like they decide to go back in time and try and kill Doctor Doom before he gets to present day. And the whole thing is, when Doctor Doom gets yanked into hell, he ends up like marking Reed's face and completely scarring it, like to the point where he looks like his whole face is just like rubberized down. Like, I'll try and find a panel of what it looks like here. It essentially looks like Two-Face. But with that sends Reed into a depression, and Johnny's way of fixing it is, let's go back into the past, give my brother-in-law a gun, and say, you have a choice of either shooting your arch enemy or not. And Reed decides not to, but grabs the gun and shoots the tree next to him instead. And that is, I don't know, the last half of this is really good, and some of the best stuff I've read that Mark Waid's ever done. But the first half is really, really bad. Like, really, really bad. So I don't know how to rank this. Like, half of it I love, but half of it I didn't. Half of it was really difficult to read. Like, I don't know where to put this. It's like, is it worth getting through all the bad stuff? Well, I think about it, all the bad stuff is literally just one chapter in this. So I would rate this, I would give this a 8 out of 10. Fantastic Four Unthinkable. Really, really solid. Really damn good. And the next book is a direct continuation of that. So, if you want me to, if you want to hear what happens next, after, Reed's face has been mangled, and, Franklin's just getting over his PTSD, the next book is even better, in my opinion, and even more interesting. So yeah, Fantastic Four Unthinkable, would recommend. That's gonna do it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. If you enjoyed this one, give it a like, give it a thumbs up. If you want to chat with the community, I have a Discord link in the description below. If you want to see me review comic books live, play games, you want to suggest some games that I play, I have a Twitch. Go to my Twitch, which is also linked in the description below. If you want to have updates on stuff that I'm actually doing, and just chat to me as well, Twitter, Instagram, in the description below. If you're not getting my notifications and you want to know whenever I upload, Tumblr, that's where I post all of my stuff. Go over there. And if you want to directly support the channel and, get exclusive stuff that no one else will get, become a Patreon. I'll see you guys in the next video.